at the time, we started traveling a lot and sort of living this like traveler's life. And we met up with a lot of anarchist collectives, and we lived with some of them for a while, and we traveled on the road and by train and started train hopping and met all these people who had a lot of really interesting ideas about how you might live an accountable, meaningful life. And it all sort of sprang from there. I don't think we ever thought we'd necessarily make a movie from it. We were just living our lives, and those were the ideas that we were interested in. And then gradually this story sort of began to take shape. The story is of a young woman who works at a private espionage company who is asked to, she's sort of a radical Republican, and she's asked to make herself over as a hippie to infiltrate this group of anarchists who are living in the woods doing these culture jams against corporations, and they've been tremendously successful. And so she's going to find, like, where is this collective? Who are they? How are they achieving these things? One of the jams they do in the beginning is they break into the CEO's Summer Hampton's estate and create an oil spill on his property. And they make a video of this, and it's like flying all over YouTube. And everyone's wondering, like, how did these kids get into this CEO's house? How do they sneak in, 12 barrels of oil and film the whole thing and get in and out? And this is a house with, 24-hour staff and like a security system. How do they pull this off? This is pretty sophisticated. And so Sarah goes in to answer those questions. There's no question it's a very intense lifestyle, and that we all sort of lived that in the making of the film. That, you don't have heat or air conditioning. So if it's cold out, it's cold in the house, and it's cold in your sleeping bag, and everyone's sleeping, 30 people to a room, huddled together for warmth. And what's amazing about all of that difficulty or hardship, though, is that it really creates an intense bond between people. And I think this happens in the fictional story, but it certainly also happened between the cast, that, like, you become a tribe, you become a real community. And I think for most people, I think there's a real question of alienation or separation or loneliness in our time. And this group is sort of fighting against that by living together in a very intense way. I always am saying to Zal that I'm so in awe of what he does, because as an actor or a writer, your job is so specific. A director has to be an expert at everything, an expert at production design, an expert at sound, an expert at music, an expert at performance, at writing, at all these things, and he has to hold everything in his mind at once. And Zal does that so beautifully. I mean, this shoot was sprawling and epic and impossible amount to do in the number of days we had. And every day he would just be this, like, calm center of this huge storm, and things are falling apart, and Zal, just in a moment makes a decision that, rights the ship back on its course. First and foremost, it's just an espionage thriller. I think the movie is just entertaining watching it on that level. A simple espionage story that's, like, compelling and has twists and turns. But I think also it's set in this world and against a backdrop that is incredibly provocative and so resonant for the time we're living in.